He just called me stupid. He's the most abusive motherfucker. He makes me sleep in the closet. Hi, hey, hello. My name is Foxy, because it's just easier, and I'm here today with...
Husband.
Ken, my husband-to-be. I actually got a new setup. I sold both of my cameras for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and I got the creator pack, so it's my first time using a mic, using a new camera. So if something seems a bit chaotic about the new setup, I'm sorry. Bear with me. Yes, I encourage you to follow my socials as usual before we get into this video. My closet is open. Oh well, I'm out the closet. Okay, so we kind of were looking back on social media and how relationships are portrayed nowadays and what people share about their relationships on social media. And I just want to say it's tough out here, out there, not here. There, over there. And it's thankfully not the case for us. So we thought that we're just gonna give you advice based from experience since we're soon together for a decade.
A whole decade.
10 years. This November, it's going to be 10 years. We just hope that some of the advice we share, you guys can use it, and maybe it can help some people and everything. And it's just kind of, I thought it would be a fun video. Before Ken, I used to date this
Dumbass.
wet napkin of a character. I don't even know how to describe that person, or there's no right words. There's no right words. He wasn't a good person, and just for his sake, we're gonna call him Bitch Boy.
You want to keep referring to him as Bitch Boy the whole video on. You're gonna have to censor that now.
No.
No?
I swear on my channel. And also for monetization, it can only, if you don't swear in the first 30 seconds, it's okay.
Oh.
Although I'm not monetized yet, but let's get it there. Subscribe. So I was dating this guy, and this guy like literally cheated on me violently. More girls than I can count on both of my hands and toes. He did a lot of problematic things. But anyways, it's a lot of details, so let's just try to keep the key moments of the whole story. Maybe we can do a whole other story time at some point, but it's a very long story. So basically Ken joined the band, and the first impression we had of each other was very poor, funnily. We were enemies. We had an enemies to lovers arc. He could not stand my ass. I could not stand my own ass. I mean his ass. And yeah, we had a very wrong first impression of each other.
First impressions are very bad, yeah.
We both judged one another way too fast, and that's one of the things maybe we can already advise is don't judge anyone you meet too fast, because I was very wrong about him. Basically, we were enemies, and then we became friends, and then we became best friends, and then lovers. Also, we got actually engaged very, very quickly into the relationship.
After 6 months.
Yes, he proposed after 6 months. But we knew that, like, in a relationship, everything has its own timing. You kind of do whatever chapter you want as fast or as slow as you want. For example, we're not getting married immediately because I am a student, and that would cause a lot of issues around my grant and everything, blah, blah, blah. But otherwise, I think I would have married him a year in.
Yeah, as soon as we could have.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the general consensus about it is basically like you want to go with your own rhythm. You don't want to listen to people telling you, hey, this is too soon, or something is taking super long, or hey, being married, if you're not getting married within 2 years, something is wrong or whatever. That's complete bullshit. Just go with your gut, go how you feel. If it feels right for you, go for it. Obviously, don't like first think about it before, not just throw yourself at someone within the first week and then realizing, hey, maybe I don't like that person very much.
Exactly. And also, like, kind of do have a moment where you discuss it with your partner if they are open to the idea of marriage. Because I know that, like, a lot of couples are not very, like, they don't depend on a marriage and shit like that. So obviously have your own thing, but don't let society tell you what to do, basically.
We've had our parents basically say, no, this is way too soon, this is ridiculous, you guys don't even know each other properly. But we both were in a very rough situation when we met, so we got close very, very quickly and very easily, and we kind of helped each other a lot. We knew what it was being in a situation where we are both at our lowest, and we still loved each other in those moments very much. So there was nothing against it. And I think I can speak for both of us saying that we certainly don't regret that choice at all. Most people, if they say, no, you need to wait because you never know what could happen. Yeah, well, by that logic, you're never going to commit, never going something to happen, and you're never going to marry. So that's bullshit. Just go with your gut.
Also, a very important thing that we both feel like has helped in the past the relationship a lot is that we were best friends before we became lovers, and that way the relationship didn't feel shallow as we're just lovers, if that makes sense. Being best friends has helped us to have no secrets, no trust issues, and no judgment towards each other. And it has helped us always to be on the same wavelength about a lot of things. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people, they just kind of create the relationship in such a shallow way of like, you're my wife, you're my woman, you're my girlfriend, whatever. And they don't go deeper than that. And that's really sad to see. And obviously you're not gonna be able to have like a very healthy and strong relationship develop from that if it's too shallow, if you can't go like deep enough and be vulnerable with each other completely. It doesn't work. Of course, there was like a honeymoon phase, and like the honeymoon phase never faded.
Basically, the honeymoon phase is when you can't get away from each other, when you're so much in love, you just want to be with them the whole time, and that's the only thing you talk about, and the only thing on your mind. I mean, we had that too, where we put everything else aside, and we were just focused on us. But to be honest, that never really stopped. We still our priority is still us, the well-being of us, our future together, and nothing else comes in between. No one is above what we consider is our love, and we always put ourselves first. So we always prioritize that.
Don't ever stop doing like the sweet things. Like I still surprise him the best ways I can. Obviously sometimes because I'm a student and he is already working, my gifts and the material ways of things don't measure up to his sometimes and whatever, but it's not a competition. But basically what I'm trying to say, it's like keep surprising each other, keep writing to each other notes, keep giving each other flowers, because I do give him flowers too. Keep doing those little things that make you feel all fuzzy and good inside. Just because you've been with a person such a long time doesn't mean you have to stop it, because that's sad too. Why would you stop it? Why would you stop chasing someone you love so much? Communication is key, obviously. We never ever went to bed angry at each other.
Yeah, that's a very important thing. Even if we have a fight during the day or whatever, which of course happens, we only actually go to bed and sleep when that's been discussed, and when we feel like we came to a conclusion.
Even
like
if
at
it
least
takes all night.
Even if it as long as it takes, but no one of us ever goes to bed angry at someone or feel like something hasn't been said, or having anyone have the feeling that they weren't able to say what they wanted to say. That's extremely important. So never brush anything off. Get everything discussed as soon as you can, because there's no point in holding it back and discussing it then a week later or whatever. That doesn't help anyone.
And also, even if you apologized, but something comes up that you felt too overwhelmed on the moment to say, or it just didn't get into the conversation and you overlooked it, it's okay to sit down, but don't attack your partner. Just be like, hey, can we talk about this thing that happened a week ago? I just want to say something. And then you say, hey, I didn't like your tone or whatever, because it's usually smaller things like that come out later. But you just gotta lay it out perfectly and not be like, oh, you made me feel like that. Don't attack the person. Just be like, hey, this thing that has happened and this reaction has made me feel this certain way. Can we see if we can find a way around it next time?
Yeah, don't forget you're a team, and you're supposed to work against those issues. You're not supposed to work against each other.
And give sincere apologies. Not because you want to shut up the other person and brush them off and be done with it and whatever. Like, give something like sincere from your heart when you understand what you've done, because then there's no growth if you don't. And that's critical too. That's really critical too. You're supposed to grow together, not away from each other.
Yeah, always as well try to understand each other. If you feel like you didn't make a mistake, but your partner feels like you definitely did, make sure that you understand what happened and how they felt in that moment. Because you obviously don't want to do it again, because then it's only just gonna get worse. No one wants to be a multiple offender of something just because you didn't understand really what the issue was.
Yes. Don't sleep on each other's issues, otherwise it might turn into something bigger. To the other person, it might not be as obvious as you think, but no one's a mind reader. So basically, like, it's like usually really small things. Sometimes it's something like insignificant, like Ken would forget to do the dishes for a little bit. And for me, it gets me really angry, and it's stupid that it gets me that angry. I don't know why, it's just something, it's a pet peeve. Everyone has small things that absolutely will drive them crazy. And it's okay to have those, but don't sleep on it, because it will explode and it will turn into something so much bigger than it really needs to be. And that's not good either, because if you treat such a small issues like that into such a big problems, then there's a problem every single day, and that's not good either.
If there's an issue where you feel very emotionally loaded, like if you feel very, very angry or just whatever, like a lot about it, maybe you might want to say stuff that in hindsight afterwards you didn't really want to say. So we usually, what happens if something is really on our mind, then and if we're too emotional, honestly, to communicate it effectively, we might just want to take a tiny little break, like just step away from each other, have a couple minutes to calm down, collect your thoughts.
Feel what you need to feel.
Exactly. If you need a minute to go for a walk or whatever, if you just need to be alone in your bedroom and the other partner is somewhere else, to just calm down those emotions and then just try to communicate effectively what's really going on, instead of then just harassing each other or saying words that you don't want to, because then you're just making a much bigger issue. Obviously, no one's perfect. Sometimes stuff can happen. So you always need to remember that when someone is saying something bad because they were too angry, it might have just been because it slipped out at the moment, but it doesn't really mean something. So therefore, sincere apologies, proper reflection of how someone else felt and how you felt are really, really important. So you make sure other people understand you well.
And also respect each other's boundaries. Sometimes I really need like a minute to myself, and I really don't want to talk sometimes for like at least sometimes long moments, like an hour. And sometimes it was a bit challenging for Ken, because I guess you felt like I would leave you behind or something like that on the issue.
Yeah, well, if something like this is new or if it's not properly communicated, it can feel like you're running away from the issue,
Yeah.
which obviously you don't want to do.
Obviously, but I have communicated to Ken now that like I'm not running away from the problem. It's just one of my boundaries. Sometimes bigger feelings, bigger moments alone. And I don't want to say stupid shit. You don't want to say stupid shit. We don't want to just hurt each other. So respect each other's boundaries, not only in like arguments and things like that, but across everything in the relationship. If something feels wrong to your partner and they ask you to not do it, just don't do it. It's that simple.
Try to understand properly
Yes.
why something is affecting someone. If for you it's like, oh, it's just a tiny little thing, it doesn't really matter. No, try to properly understand if it's something major for your partner, to respect it as well, because then they feel properly respected, and the same should go for you then too.
I'm sorry if I look over there. We've done a little note so we make sure we cover everything we want to talk about. The goal when there's an issue is not to win the fight or to be correct or to put each other down, is to create a solution where both of you can feel happier. And that's something I see a lot in couples nowadays, is someone wants to be the victim or someone wants to be right so badly. And everything falls apart around that. And that's so sad and can be avoided through proper communication. Completely avoidable. And now, maybe the most controversial one, I don't know if you see it a lot on social media, but I personally do a lot, is that the 50-50 rule is a complete myth.
Bullshit.
It doesn't exist. Sometimes it'll be 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, and vice versa. The important part is that your partner feels supported, but also when it's their turn to support you, basically you have to not feel like you're the only person holding the relationship together. For example, I've struggled a lot with my mental health, and I've been always very open about my anxiety issues on the channel, and I try to be open about like other like things that cause me the stress in my life. Obviously, sometimes I will admit I don't want to say I'm weak, because that's such a bad thing to say, but I feel not my best. I don't feel like I can carry a lot on my shoulders at that moment. And Ken has done a lot of the carrying, especially at the beginning. And he still even does now while I finish my degree, but that's more materialistic wise, I feel like. But also when Ken starts feeling stressed and he's not feeling his best, I sure as fuck will turn everything around. You have to come together, and sometimes it's not gonna feel fair in the view of it has to be always 50-50, blah blah blah. But fair doesn't really exist in a relationship.
Fair doesn't mean that everyone has to give the same amount. Fair is just basically saying, hey, everyone should do their part and what they can do. As if you go to work and you have to give in 100% each day. Well, then some days maybe you don't have those 100%. Let's say you have 70% because you feel a little bit weak or whatever. But then you do give those 70%. So you still try to give what you have, especially in those moments when I have a lot of work to do, then I really can't help that much around at home, obviously, because I work then sometimes 16-18 hours straight. So then there's more on you then, of course. But then exactly those moments when I'm then finally off of work, then I want to show the appreciation as well. Then we go out on dates, we make sure that we have time for each other, and that's really important. So it's okay if someone doesn't feel all that great at a certain moment to give their all, but that doesn't mean that the other partner has to be like, oh, you can only give me 30%, well, then I'll just give you 30 as well. No, that's bullshit. Then make them feel better, make it easier on them and stuff like that. Remember, you're always a team. For a relationship, you always need two people. It doesn't work just from one person giving everything. Then at some point, it will run out. It won't help anymore.
You're very well spoken. You're helping me a lot in this video today. Remember that you are both still individuals. You should give each other space. You still do what you're into without the partner stopping you actively from being yourself. Of course, you should take interest in your partner's hobbies and see how if you can help or participate, but don't stop them from doing what they love. Here, what we mean, for example, for us, we have hobbies that are very different from each other, but still very artistic. Ken is more of a musician. I am more of an artist. There was a time where I used to sing, but we will not talk about that. For example, I like to do pieces that sometimes take me hours and hours and hours to complete, and obviously sometimes when I'm really into it, well, I'm not gonna be on the couch cuddling Ken. And when Ken wants to record something on his guitar, he's gonna be in his office doing his guitar stuff. Obviously, don't be absolutely detached from each other. That is not the goal.
Yeah, you can show as a bit of interest in someone, like, hey, what you doing? Is that something new or whatever? Just show genuine interest as well, not just try to make them talk and then be like, don't care. No, like genuine interest as well. Or like if there's a concert like for me that I want to see, obviously I'm happy when you come along, and obviously if there's an art expo, just as much I'm coming with, even though it's not maybe my world. But then I asked, well, what are the things that I need to look out for? What are the things to try and understand that world of art? And
Sometimes, little parenthesis of appreciation, sometimes when we travel, and as of right now, we live in Europe, there's a lot of like old historic architecture in Europe, very beautiful. Ken likes to sometimes point at random buildings and be like, can you guess, based off your knowledge from art school, can you guess from when this building is built? And I always analyze and I tell him why and everything, and I kind of love that. You keep me on my toes.
but yeah, it's fun.
And also, even music-wise, honestly, like, we do meet in the middle, because I don't play an instrument. I was mostly a singer in my life. I did music theory and all of that. For example, you like more, I don't know how to describe it, like you're into like Leprous, you like gent, you like things like that.
Well, I listen to a very broad range of different kinds of music.
Yeah.
You know, as a musician, you start to appreciate sometimes a bit more complex music. But,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, we always kind of meet in the middle as well. We're in the car. We have a playlist that we listen to together.
Exactly. We use the Spotify.
Shared or whatever playlist. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
sometimes it's fucking trashy as fuck. I swear to
Yeah,
God.
they're really shit.
They really need to fix their updating bullshit there, I swear to God. For example, sometimes there's gonna be concerts that I don't listen to, but Ken really wants to go. For example, we saw Leprous last year. Was it last year?
Yeah. I think
We
so.
saw Leprous last year. I didn't listen a lick of Leprous. We ended up going and I really enjoyed it. It was really good. It was really soulful. Well, I'm really more into, I don't know how to describe what I'm into.
Indie rock and alternative.
Yeah, but I also really like some good stoner rock. I really enjoy some classics and like some types of metal there and there. I have a very odd mix, but some things I enjoy are very different from Ken's day-to-day thing. And when he joins me, he still enjoys the crap out of it. He's not crossed-armed, looking grumpy and thinking, what is this bitchy ass music? He's actively enjoying it with me, and I absolutely love that. It's where are we? Oh God, ow, my hair. I mean, not
That's skeleton hair.
skeleton hair.
Yeah, you have bones in there. Basically, just make sure that your future goals align. So if one of you really wants to get out of the country and the other person doesn't, is that something you can talk about? Is there an actual common ground that you can find? Because you don't want to end up having one person having to force themselves to change their whole future plan and what they consider is their actual like life goals and dreams, whatever, to be completely crushed just for the sake of the other person.
Exactly.
Like you have all of those kinds like moving, kids or not, that's really really important as well. Make sure you're on the same wavelength. Maybe not in the beginning, but you can always talk about it, see if there's a common ground that you manage to find, because you certainly don't want to enforce a child on someone that doesn't want one, and vice versa either. Just make sure the future goals align.
Exactly. Like, for example, I feel like this year we discussed like the most life-changing decisions we took. Honestly, for example, there is one where I've been public about it now. As you guys know, I got my tubes tied in February this year. And actually, funnily enough, Ken at first wanted kids. And I was actually like properly diagnosed even earlier this year with tocophobia, which is very, very intense fear of pregnancy. And there's type 1 when you're pregnant, I believe, and you're scared of the childbirth. And type 2 when you've never ever been pregnant and that you are just deadly afraid of pregnancy and that's just something that cannot happen to you. Your brain cannot wrap itself around that fact. I don't know how to explain it, but it's horrible. And I had type 2. It's really weird because it's something that developed along the years. At first, it wasn't that intense. So I never jumped on the no early on, but I did let Ken know early on that kids is not something that interests me. And we still kept going in the relationship because it was not crucial. We were not in a hurry. And
yeah, we both didn't say like, hey, we absolutely need to have this. I wanted kids, but I wasn't like, absolutely need to have kids for the because that's my life goal. I always wanted to be a dad. No, that was not the thing. I was just, yeah, we were both in difficult situations. So we were thinking of, I was thinking at least of having a start of my own, but ultimately the only thing I would sacrifice is a lot of the things that I always wanted to do, never got to do as well as a child or a teenager or a young adult. Yeah, we were talking openly about it, and I reflected a long time about that because of course it's a big decision. And yeah, I came to the conclusion that in the end I don't actually need any. I feel like it's a lot more important to actually find my own happiness than make sure my child will be happy with it. But then I'll maybe be completely miserable, and then I'm just repeating the cycle.
Exactly. Basically, it's, Fleetwood Mac, the chain. Yeah, there you go. We're breaking the chain. Also, at some point, we did like level the decision that it would be easier if Ken would get a vasectomy or whatever. But I understood that like with my fear and with how my brain worked and how I talked about it in therapy, it would be best if I was the one that did the surgery because it would be the only way I could calm down knowing that I am in control of my body and I will never have kids and etc., etc., etc. It's been honestly awesome. Best decision of my life. It honestly brought us closer. We bonded on things. We are getting to know each other deeper than we ever could imagine knowing someone that deeply. It's I don't want to sound cheesy, but it's like beyond love. It's like we see each other very well for we're making each other feel seen, we're making feel each other recognized. There's no maybe in our dreams. Our dream is our plan, and that's beautiful. So if you cannot have a partner that can uplift you like that, I'm sorry. It's tough out there.
Yeah.
In a long relationship, there will be ugly phases. You mustn't quit on each other. Life gets hard. Sometimes it simply isn't all love and light, but you shouldn't forget all the reasons y'all chose each other. Everything will eventually work out. Yes, 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 yes. I feel like I was the root of more complications in our relationship. How do I put this? My words are not wording right now.
I want to know exactly what you're trying to say.
When-
Well, I just think that you had a bit more baggage than I did, so you had to figure out a lot more than I did. I stood very early already on my own 2 feet. I was mentally already a bit in a different place. I had dealt with a lot of my trauma and all of that already. Not perfectly, of course. I mean, the scars, they're always there, but yours were definitely a lot fresher. So it took a while for us to figure out what kind of issues they are and how to deal with them.
Exactly.
So we had a lot of figuring out to do, how to communicate effectively, mostly on things that bothered you and things that didn't work out very well, how you felt, and how I had to work with that.
Yeah.
So we had to figure out what was the root cause and how can I effectively do something to help and to work against that. It took quite a long time to figure out.
Yeah, because like I can say that like this year has been the first year I've been, which feels crazy to say. I don't ever think I would have been able to say that 10 years ago. But this year has been the first year I've been free of the shackles of my trauma. Not completely, because your girl has fucking PTSD, CPTSD, so that's something that's always gonna be with me. But slowly you will learn that you are safe and everything's fine now. Although your brain will constantly try to convince you otherwise, which is really hard sometimes. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and everything, and that creates a lot of ugly moments in a relationship. It creates a lot of like an environment where I feel like it's really weird to say out loud because like why would I ever think that, you know? But like I often felt like I wasn't safe, and the same things that a lot of my family and a lot of bad people did to me in my past, Ken would eventually catch up and do them too to me. Although I knew perfectly well that wasn't true, that wasn't the case. And it's just a cycle of convincing yourself that you're safe, you're safe, you're safe, you're okay. And yeah, it's really hard. I mean, obviously those are bigger issues. Even in any long-term relationship, life is hard. Shit is gonna hit the fan and everything. But don't let those things like ruin something beautiful, ruin something as deep as a connection with one another.
Yeah, so remember that your partner's issues are your own issues too. You have to deal with something that's mentally tormenting you. Well, that doesn't mean that I should leave you alone in that. Obviously, yeah, it's going to be very difficult to help you figure it out when you don't even know it. But
Exactly, it's my head. I know what's wrong. How can you?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you can talk to them, try to communicate as much as you can, maybe try and figure out something together, or try to come up with solutions. Hey, if I say this and that, might this maybe help? If I do something, if I say something differently, are there any things that can trigger something? Is there the environment that we can make better or whatever? Just try to be active in actually working together to an actual goal and not just leave them alone in their misery.
Ignoring your partner's issues is not gonna fix them either. Just basically try to be a decent human being and be there for one another and everything. Because often, like, I've seen also on social media how married couples sometimes have their private things and they each have a therapist and they only talk about their issues to their therapist, but never to one another, and that's how they preserve a relationship. And I'm like, that's crazy. What do you talk about? What do you connect on? How can you like deepen a connection when you can't know the ugly sides of your partner? You have to love the good, the bad, and the dirty. You know, no one is perfect. No one is 100% sane. No one has never faced any tough shit or any heartbreak in their lives. Okay, I know that apparently there are some people that apparently never face trauma, which I could never imagine that. Still, you know, even the least traumatized person on earth has still their own issues in one way or another. And you have to love them through all of it. Always remember to make each other feel special. Yeah, we've talked about this, but yes, even little things can have very big impacts. I literally actually have my wall here splattered in the tiny notes that Ken leaves me on sometimes in the mornings, and I genuinely cherish them. I think they're the best things ever. I want to put them in an album, and I want to cherish them until the day I die.
Yeah, and the thing about it is it's very easy. It's very simple. Like, only because you're together in a long relationship doesn't mean that you can't still make an effort. You don't always just need to give flowers for Valentine's Day, you know? Just sometimes when you just think of your partner and how much you appreciate them, just go get flowers, go get anything. It doesn't need to be the fanciest thing or whatever, just something small. It shows them that you think of them and stuff like that. Talk to your partner, send them a message. If you're not the kind of couple that sends a lot of messages throughout the day or barely any when you're at work, just send a little message. Hey, thinking about you, miss you, hope you have a wonderful day or whatever, you know. It doesn't cost anything. It's very easy to do, and it can make someone's day. It's pretty easy, so you should definitely do that.
Don't listen to other people, which makes this video a bit ironic, but oh well.
We kind of mean in your like close circle or whatever, like parents, best friends or whatever. Especially don't listen to those parents who then just like, yeah, you need to do this and that, and I wouldn't do this, and then they're divorced for after a relationship of 10 years or whatever. Like, no. You don't need to take anyone's advice. Listen to them, see if there's anything useful in that. If not, you can fucking ignore it.
Or like your friends that never were in a relationship, like that only ever landed situationships and don't know what it is like to be in actually like a committed relationship. I don't think that... Basically, don't take any advice from anyone that you don't want to be. And none of the little Andrew Tate's wannabes, I'm sorry, they don't understand anything. They don't understand anything. But do what you feel is right, follow your gut. Your relationship is made out of two people, not your best friend, not your parents, not Larry next door who ignores his wife all day. What did I write down?
Yeah, don't take advice from people that are like, oh, you're gonna hate your wife anyways in 10 years, and they talk shit all day about their partner and stuff like that. Don't listen to them at all. They do not get it. Then afterwards, when they're together for 30 years, only because it's comfortable, not because they actually want to be together. Then they're just together because of finances, or because they have a child, they need to stay together because it makes it easier. Or because of finances, because one partner didn't work and the other one did, they stayed together to stay in the house or some bullshit. That's not actually love. That has nothing to do with being in a relationship. That's a roommate. That's a fucking Roomba cleaning after you. That's not actual what you want in a relationship.
I feel like you know your partner best. You and your partner will know what's best at the end of the day. So just listen to your partner if you want advice. Communicate. I am red like a tomato in this video. I don't know why. That is crazy. So how today's dating scene makes us feel. I personally think it's really scary. I don't know how y'all do it out there. Anytime I'm like swiping on TikTok or whatever, or listening to one of my girlfriend's stories, it's scary. I don't understand how it has evolved into something like that. And I'm saying has evolved because when we got together, it wasn't really common to have situationships. It was common that either you were fuck buddies or you were boyfriend girlfriend.
Yeah. So many people are completely afraid to actually commit to anything and actually as well be in touch with themselves. Like, be able to actually properly feel what you feel. As a man as well, you're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed to have a bad day and then go to your wife and be in her arms. That's all okay. No one says anything about that. If there's a man out there who disagrees with me, well, they're not an actual man. They have no idea what feelings are, and they are probably the ones hating on their wives, get nothing out of any fucking relationship, and are just talking bullshit anyways. So it's totally okay to just feel out what you feel, be honest with yourself, and regarding about that to your partner too. If there's actually anything on your mind, you should be able to tell your partner. If you feel like you can't talk to your partner, if you feel like if you say that something is going bad or something's wrong, and you feel like you can't put that on your partner because then they might not find you attractive anymore, or that they might want to end the relationship, then it's anyways not worth it having.
It's their loss, not yours.
Yeah, remember that too. Everyone has a worth, and you need to find your own as well. So be careful on keeping that. If your partner disrespects you in any kind of way, if you feel mistreated, obviously talk about it, because no one deserves that.
I feel like a lot of people aren't in touch with their emotions anymore. It's kind of really concerning, because maybe it's from fear of judgment or bullying and everything. But another thing I've noticed is that people don't really want to listen anymore. They just want to be perceived, seen, heard. And they only want that, which is incredibly destabilizing. You need to make room for the other person too. It's not only about you, it's about the other person too. I think that's a big shame, because connection, communication, and all of that is great. You know, like it's like that meme. Sure, sex is great, but have you ever had an emotional connection? You know, it's really weird. It's really like materialistic now in the dating scene, at least from what I see. People really just care about how they're perceived outside, and they don't care for the depth anymore. And that's really sad. I wasn't the way I am when I got together with Ken. I was a 17-year-old filled with trauma, that didn't understand who she was becoming, that didn't understand anything about anything. I genuinely had no guidance in my life. I had no parents to guide me through those complicated feelings. I had, at the time, no therapist to guide me through all of that. I was completely alone in those feelings. Through connection, I understood that I needed to better myself, and I can't stay like that.
It's much easier to just stay in your hole, not do anything against it. But it's definitely easier if you have a partner that can help you out of that hole. And if you let yourself be helped as well. That's as well a very important lesson, being able to ask for help.
And not everyone wants to be saved, sadly. That is also a thing. I hope we were clear enough. I don't know why I got really like red in the face and nervous about recording with Ken.
So cute.
Stop. I hope this can give you some advice, and I hope this is helpful. Obviously, even if we said like maybe controversial things in your opinions and whatever, we're not really judging anyone. We're just sharing our advice and our opinions of how we made this work so long. And I genuinely wish you all watching to find someone like Ken in your life. I hope you all find a Ken in your life.
Stupid. Not perfect either.
He just called me stupid. He's the most abusive motherfucker. He makes me sleep in the closet.
God, you're so stupid.
I'm lying. He's the best. He would hand feed me grapes if I asked him to.
The coin machine.
Yeah, can you believe it that he was 19 and I was 17 when we got into a relationship?
I was a 19-year-old very angry boy. A lot of issues too.
I was a 17-year-old girl. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's problematic enough.
Right!
No, it's not.
Yeah, well...
We had 2 years of...
Yeah, like, a lot of people make a big deal out of that too. Obviously, don't date a 30-year-old when you're like fucking 15. That's not fucking normal. He was still a teenager. I was still a teenager. And I think literally when we started dating, I was still 17 for like...
I was mentally 15, so it's okay.
Here's to 10 years. Jazz hands. And yeah, if you liked this video, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't...
Fuck you.
Comment something cool, comment something nice. You can comment us further questions. We'll happily answer them in the comments. Click that subscribe button. Follow my social media. Ken has social media too, but I don't think he likes the attention. Okay.
Stay away from me.
Another day, another dollar. Fox out. Love ya!